Good evening, and welcome to welcome to Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. We've got a special guest tonight, and want to thank you for joining us. We have Randy Bryant.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming, Randy. He is the head coach and athletic director at Zion Chapel High School, located in Coffee County in the town of Jack. And Randy, I want to welcome you to the show. And later on the show, ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss Kaylee Green from the Pike Regional Child Advocacy Center. And we have Nelsie Leverett and her brother Howell coming on the show. And but Randy, just a couple of things I want to start off with. Your hometown. Where's your hometown?
So Troy.
Is it
Troy's
Troy?
my home. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Born and raised here. And graduated from Charles Henderson and 2 degrees from Troy University. So
What are your degrees in?
health and physical education, and then I got a master's in physical education, and then I did an add-on in administration or educational leadership at West Alabama.
And that's at Livingston. And what year did you
Yes.
graduate from Charles Henderson?
2001.
2001. And I asked him earlier if you'll name just some of the guys that you graduated with and some of the graduate
Yes, sir.
guys and girls.
Yeah, Kevin Stevens, Terrell Smith.
He played with Terrell Smith. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So Trayvon Hemphill, Felix Jones, list. I mean, I can name them all.
Von Ewing.
Yes, Von Ewing, Ziad Rollins, Wesley Pennington, Will Jones, Will Broadway.
Bro, I forgot about him. He was a big old boy. Wasn't
Yes,
he?
sir. Yeah.
And where? Let's see. What were some of the girls in your class that graduated with you?
Paige Boutwell, Allison Flowers, Holly Graham. God, I have to go back. I need to look at
That's okay.
your book, I guess.
All right. On your coaching tree, if you will, give us a rundown of where all you, when you graduated from Troy University, what were some of your coaching stops?
So I was a student coach and a GA at Troy for Coach Larry Blakeney.
Okay.
And I went back to work for Coach Hugh Fountain at Charles Henderson. I left there and came back as a GA to Troy.
What specialty what area?
So I'm an offensive guy.
Offensive guy.
So I worked special teams at Troy University. I've coached receivers and O-line basically for my whole career. But I left here and went to Fort Payne for 5 years, worked with Paul Ellis. Had a great time. We were very successful there, and that was probably 5 of my best years in coaching. And got married, and then came back south into Lucia for 2 years. Charles Henderson again for 2 years, and then I've been 4 years at Zion Chapel.
Zion Chapel, and you've been the head coach. That's your first head coaching job.
Yes.
Was at Zion Chapel.
Yes.
Well, you said you got married. Who is your lucky bride?
So Natalie Patterson.
Natalie Patterson.
Yes, sir.
I had Natalie when I first came to Troy, and when I was teaching at Charles Henderson Middle School. Mike Hall was the principal. David Hems was the assistant principal. But I remember that Natalie and that group of girls, they were, and guys were just some fun people to be around and to have in physical education. And I coined her nickname. I called her Nat Pat, Natalie, and then Patterson.
Yes.
And her mother and daddy, if you will, tell everybody who her mother and daddy.
Yeah. So Lisa Patterson, she taught art at the elementary school, and then Dr. Doug Patterson was a vice chancellor at the university. And
he just recently passed away, and I know he is a loss for their family. And but were you ever intimidated by Dr. Patterson?
Well, Dr. Patterson, was a Marine, so and that's kind of one of the memories I shared is when I went to them and had to go behind Natalie to get their approval, and he's always a thinker, so he wanted to walk through and make sure we had everything planned out, and so he was always very, very good to me.
That's good. I know y'all miss him a lot, and
yes, sir.
But you're currently at Zion Chapel, and spring training starts.
Well, Wednesday is our first practice.
Wednesday's your first practice.
We get 10 days, so we're going to play McKenzie and Clark County at McKenzie. this year.
Okay. And how will that be set up? And what date? You have a date for that?
Yes, sir. So we'll play May 14th, 6 p.m. at McKenzie. So we'll play McKenzie for a half, and then we'll play Clark County for a half. And,
Okay.
so that's Drew Luker and Stacy Luker. Stacy's the dad. They're from Sweetwater.
Okay.
And so it'll be a really good challenge. But we play in a really tough region, and so wanted to make sure we found somebody that I felt was of equal competition, kind of get us, a little better prepared for the season. And, we're looking forward to that. All of our kids, so 6 through 11, which will be 7th through 12th graders next year, will get an opportunity to play in the game.
Okay.
So we're really looking forward to it.
Okay. And that will be in McKenzie
Yes, sir.
at 6 o'clock, and I guess that will be a Friday night.
Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
correct.
In your area, Coach, you are a 2A school,
Yes, sir.
and your area teams are loaded. They're pretty good.
Yeah, it's a really tough region. So Abbeville, Elba, Geneva County, Houston County, GW Long, Ayrton, Cottonwood, and us. So we're in an 8-team region. It's a super tough region. We've played the South State winner in 2A the last 3 years. So it was Luverne, Reeltown, and then Abbeville this year. All three of them have played for the state title in 2A the last 3 years. But our region is the same. I mean, if you look at Ayrton, GW Long, Elba, Geneva County has a 5-star running back that's committed to Alabama.
He's coming back. He's got another year, doesn't
That's correct, yes, sir.
Wow.
So it's loaded, and it makes for a tough season, but, we go out and we give it our best, and we see what happens.
Is your schedule already set for next year as to?
Yes, sir. It's the exact opposite of last year. So every year, or every 2 years, we do reclassification.
Mm-hmm.
And so they come, they do the count, and then they put the schools in order from, highest to lowest in number of students. And then they draw the region lines based on travel. And so, it could change after this season, but we play the exact opposite of our schedule from last season.
So you'll have 7 games. Who are your non-region opponents? Do you know that?
So we play Florala in a jamboree,
Okay.
and then Kinston, Sampson, and Pleasant Home.
Okay.
So those are our non-region games.
All right. If you will, explain to everyone about when they count. What exactly does the Alabama High School Athletics? So when is the count, and what do they base the count on? Who are they counting?
So it's called average daily membership, and that's at the beginning of the school year. And they count, I think it's 20 days, and that's when, you get the number of students in your school. And so it's changed, and I hope I don't misspeak here, but it used to be 10 through 12, and now it's 9 through 11, and they base what classification you are based on how many kids you have in those grades. And so they'll add those 3 grades together, and then they'll put everybody in numerical order, and then they decide how many teams are going to be in a classification.
Right.
And so, there are 7 classifications.
So this August, the first 20 days of school, they're going to count your 9th, 10th, and 11th graders?
Yeah, and
Roughly,
I may be wrong
Okay.
on that date. But
I believe the way I figured it one time, there's about, is it 90 schools per class or 60? I think there's.
So,
And
not counting 7A, it's about 64.
Yeah.
Because half the teams
About 60.
make the playoffs. And so there'll be 32. So 2 years ago, when we played Reeltown, the first round of playoffs, there were 64 teams. So we made it. We were 32. The
Okay.
top 32,
Okay.
make it to the playoffs. And it goes from there 5 rounds to lead, get you to the state championship.
That means you got to win 15 games to win it all.
That's correct.
And 7A is a little bit different. They don't start playing that first week. They play the second week of the playoffs, and then once the state championships are held, do they fluctuate?
They play on the Wednesday.
They play on the Wednesday.
So they get a little longer prep time
Okay.
than the other 6 classifications. So generally they play on the Wednesday with the unified games.
Right.
And then the Thursday will be your odd classifications, 3, 1, and 5. And then the last day is 6, 2, and 4.
Okay, and you are the athletic director. What is
Yes.
that? Okay, the sports that you offer for girls at Zion Chapel are
All right, so currently we offer cross country, volleyball, softball, cheer, and girls basketball.
Girls basketball.
The HSAA, added this year girls flag football, so we will go through that process and see. We're a small school, so when we add another sport, you're taking away from one sport. So we'll see. I'm not sure how that's going to go this year. We've not had. We don't have to declare for that sport yet.
Okay.
So there'll be an interest meeting to see, and
So in other words, that's your fall. That would coincide with volleyball. When is volleyball season over? Is it over like mid-October?
It's closer to the mid to late October.
Okay. And then I think the state championships for flag football are going to be sometime in December.
They'll play on the same day as 7A, so it'll be Wednesday.
Okay. And that classification, do we know how that's going to be broken down? Is it going to be 7A? Are they going to pool some together probably? Or
well,
we just don't know.
We don't know yet. You got to play, I believe it's 8 games.
Okay.
So you'll have to have an 8-game, schedule. And it'll be interesting because not everybody in your region would play those. So I don't think you can keep region play technically. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Well, I went to a game last year. I went to Pacelli High School in Columbus, Georgia, and a good friend of mine, Clint Sanders, and I used to coach football at Troup County High in LaGrange, Georgia.
Okay.
And but he coached football and golf, and he kind of got out of it. But his daughter is like a sophomore, so he became the head flag football coach, and he is fired up. And they played last year and made, I think, all the way to the quarterfinals. But it's a interesting sport. If you got the girls with the interest, man, I think it'd be a fun sport to coach.
Yes.
And but there again, you got your cheerleaders. I don't know if how that would work. You'd have to work that out with the sponsor. But some of your athletes are already spoken for in volleyball, and and then basketball starts what, mid-November?
It starts in October. Well, with your junior
practice.
high and your JV. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
It started in Georgia, really, and that's where the Falcons put up some money and kind of got it started over there. And so now they've come to Alabama.
Yeah, and I don't have that guy's name, but he's it was from Dothan originally. Played, I think, at Northview or Dothan High, but he played pro football. He might have went to Jack State or UAB, but anyhow, he was in the National Football League for 6 to 10 years, and he's kind of the spearhead around it. There's I think Alabama's the 5th state to try it, maybe.
Yeah, I don't.
I can't think of
They
that.
briefly introduced us and showed us some videos to kind of get everybody pumped up.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the landscape at Zion Chapel High School or Jack. What's going on with your facilities? And
so we were very fortunate last year before COVID hit. We got brand new LED lights. And then in our end zone, so we had the old concession stand and field house kind of set right off the end of the field, but it was demolished, and Coffee County Board of Education is building a new gym on site, and it is going to be beautiful. It's probably hold twice as many people as our old one. It's a multi-million-dollar facility that's going to be first class, and so there's been a lot of dirt work and a lot of purchasing of property to make it all happen, and it's going to be first class. It's going to be really, really great.
I went down there the other day. A mutual friend of ours, Miss Kara Carter Hussey, is battling cancer, and she's in Texas now. And I went down there to deliver some tickets and some T-shirt order forms, and stopped by the gym. I saw Zach Bubba Lee.
That's right.
He was doing some stuff, and I went in the gym and spoke with Randy, and that's, it's been a while since I've been that way going toward Jack, and there's a lot of shaking and moving, a lot of great things that are happening down there in Zion Chapel. And I know the kids, the students are excited, the teachers are excited. I know you and your coaching staff are excited in all sports to add another gym, and then you're going to keep your other gym. Is that correct?
Yes,
so you'll have two
we'll have
gymnasiums.
Two gyms, and so it'll really alleviate a lot of issues because you have when you go to adding teams, all right, so there's 3 volleyball teams. All right, well, you've got males and you've got females with basketball, and having 3 teams there. And so
Each.
yes, it's going to be great for us and our community. And then obviously we have youth sports basketball that plays there. And it'll also, I hope, give us an opportunity to maybe expand our weight room situation too. So we're really looking forward to the new facility being finished.
Well, I want to ask you a question, a personal question, Randy. Who, as a teacher, elementary teachers, name a couple, and I want you to name a couple of middle school teachers and a couple of high school teachers who've had a tremendous impact on your life.
Wow, put me on the spot. That's tough. I say this every time I talk to anybody about education and teachers, but Miss Marna Barnett, was my high school science teacher. One of my high school science teachers taught A&P and chemistry, but I have to say she's probably, one of the biggest influences as far as a teacher, because I knew in high school I wanted to be a teacher. Towards the end of my high school career, I knew I wanted to coach football. How do you do that? You got to be a teacher. And so she was the one, in high school. But Coach Hugh Fountain, obviously, is the reason I wanted to get into coaching.
Hugh Fountain. Yeah,
yes,
Hugh.
sir. I just saw what he did, for all the guys, and thought, man, that's a great way to be able to affect people. And so those were the 2 biggest ones in high school.
What about middle school?
Oh gosh, don't put me on the spot. I'd really have to sit down and think. I hadn't thought about middle school in a long time.
What about, let's see, did you have Coach Whitman? Who was your football coach?
I did, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, he was one of my PE teachers, and then, oh gosh, you really put me on the spot. I guess I'm getting.
Who was the principal there? Was it Mr. Thomas or Mr.
No, that
Hall?
was Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir.
Amos Brown.
And
I met him. He was at the central office when I came, but elementary school was your principal, Mr.
Hank Jones.
Hank
Yes,
Jones.
sir.
Oh,
He was another one.
Hank Jones. Yes.
He definitely had a great influence, and then Dr. Linda Felton. I mean, Mr. David Helms. So we were. I consider myself lucky. There were a lot of great people in education when I was coming through.
Well, one thing I want to interject about Hank Jones. My mother worked at Troy University in the housing department. And it was like in the early 1970s, there was a snowstorm that hit Troy. And she had a big old Chevrolet Impala that she couldn't get out of town. Well, Hank Jones had a Volkswagen. And so he drove my mother home in that Volkswagen because all the weights in the back, that's where the motor's located.
Yes.
And he drove mother home. And I don't know how she got back to get the car, but I remember here comes a Volkswagen putting up in the yard, and there was mother hopping out. So he took her home. And but any other, have y'all had the prom at Zion Chapel? Or?
No, sir, not yet, but we are. They're going to have it at a facility in Kinston. It's a barn, wedding venue type place, and so I think it's going to be really nice. Pictures look really nice. So.
Yeah, we mentioned Natalie. Your children, or who are your children?
Yes, sir. So I have a boy, John Clark, and a daughter named Lucy Kate. And so
What
John Clark goes to Zion Chapel. He's in the 1st grade, and Lucy Kate will be going there next year for pre-K.
Well, great.
So.
That's great. And is there anything else you'd like to add, or I know you're excited about it's about to start. Football's about to start.
This is the time of the year, other than fall, that you really look forward to. I know, the kids are excited because it's the end of the school year, but as a football coach, spring is very, very important because you kind of get a look at what you're going to have. And to me, it kind of guides what we do in the summer. Mm-hmm. So, we know, all right, well, we need to work on this a little more than, because you're very limited with the 9 days and then one game in the spring. So you try to get some OTAs or organized team activities with some other teams and kind of see what you got.
Well, you got a beautiful helmet there. It's got ZC on the side.
Yes, sir.
Is that silver and
red? So we it'll change a little bit this year. We were traditionally a matte red helmet, and I wanted to do something different, so we went with a white shell, and this year we went back matte white.
Okay.
Just something different. You know, the
Okay.
kids love all this different stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know, we've got 3 Nike uniforms. I'd like to add a 4th one.
Okay.
You know, I think, you know, whatever makes kids want to play and them be excited to come, you know, is what we try to do.
Okay.
But
Well,
very pleased.
Well, Randy, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and we want to wish you the best of luck, you and your family, and all the Zion Chapel the best of luck. Finish out strong this year, and hope you have a great year next year. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a minute with some more, with another guest here on Good News and Interviews. We have Miss Kaylee Green coming up. She's with the Pike Regional Child Advocacy Center, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Join us for Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. Monday nights from 7 until 8, and watch the replays on Wednesday nights from 8 until 9. Ladies and gentlemen, join us for Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
This is Barney at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and I'm here to nip this sale in the bud.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Anthony, sales manager at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Troy, Alabama, offering discounts up to $15,000.
Let's nip that.
0% financing up to 72 months.
We gotta nip that.
Barney, $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
You're killing the competition.
Barney!
Troy Cable is the leader in smart home security, giving you solutions to monitor, protect, and automate your home. Troy Cable Security keeps your property safe with 24/7 professional monitoring and emergency response. Control thermostats and lighting remotely, which allow options for saving energy and money. Control access to your home remotely with integrated controls for door locks. You can even add our smart home cameras, which allow you to see what you care about instantly. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Welcome back to Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. I want to thank some of my sponsors. Of course, Douglas Brothers, located on the square. Bird's Drugs, right on the square as well. Go see Joe Watson and the girls if you want a good sandwich. And Whaley Pecans, located on Pecan Street. I've got a couple of bags here of pecans. They've got all kind of candies. With all kind of holidays coming up. If you got a sweetheart, they've got these little, you can make a beautiful gift basket. These are gummy bears. And but if all your cooking needs, if you need fresh pecans, they've got pecan syrup. They make soap kind of products. I want to thank Lenny Trawick. You'll see some pictures on the screen. Lenny Trawick and Kathy Stockstill and Mr. Bob Perdue. We're at the Old Barn Restaurant, which is a new sponsor, last Thursday night, and Troy Cable was there and filmed some of that, and it will be coming to you later on Troy Cable, and there'll be a little brief synopsis on one of my shows later on. And Chimney Hot Sauces. Chimney Hot Sauces is located in the Lake Martin, Auburn area. This is the jalapeno hot sauce, and their logo, or one of their slogans, is "Take the Leap." And if you've seen their commercial here on the show, it shows people taking the leap into, I guess it's Lake Martin. And but anyway, our next guest is Miss Kaylee Green. She's from the Pike. She's the executive director of the Pike Regional Child Advocacy Center, located on West Orange Street. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank
you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
And if you will, where's your hometown and where'd you go to school and all that, if you will?
My hometown is Thomasville, Alabama.
Okay. What county is Thomasville?
Clark.
Clark County.
North of Mobile.
Okay. Been there. It's a pretty large county.
It is. I think it's one of the larger ones up against Barber.
Okay.
We're very, very rural. Lots of trees.
Lots of trees. Forest tree, Lee. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
and a lot of lumber and that type of industry over there. But I noticed when I moved over here, I had to tell everyone I was from Thomasville, Alabama, not Georgia.
Thomasville, Georgia.
Right. It must be fairly close.
Now, did you go to college or?
I did. I am a Troy alumni twice over.
Okay.
So Troy has been my home for about 15 years now.
Why Troy?
I fell in love with the campus. I did a lot of theater in high school, and so we would come over here for theater competitions.
Okay.
And I just fell in love with the campus. And all my classmates were going to either Alabama or Auburn and wanted to be different. And
so you were in plays and all that kind of stuff.
I did.
Well, we got a young lady coming up on the show here in a minute, Nelson Leverett. She was in a lot of plays at Charles Hudson High School. I think a lead actress.
They do
in
a lot
several
of really
them.
good work over there.
And
It's very impressive.
but if you will, if you'll explain to the audience about the Child Advocacy Center and what's its role and purpose, and
Sure.
what do y'all do for the children of this area?
Sure. So the Advocacy Center, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and that's just a lot of lingo, meaning we work off of grants and donations for our money. And we service 4 counties here in the area, Pike, Barber, Bullock, and Coffee. And the whole idea of Advocacy Center is to be a centralized location for children and families to come instead of being taken to DHR and, the Department of Human Resources. Not everybody knows what DHR is. And law enforcement to tell their story over and over again. And when I say tell their story, we work with law enforcement and Department of Human Resources to investigate cases of abuse.
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever DHR law enforcement gets a call in that respect, we help them investigate that. So, and advocacy centers were actually created in Alabama, in Huntsville. Bud Kramer, he was a senator back in the 80s, and he saw a need for this type of program. And instead of the families being carried all over town, he created a centralized location for all of that to happen.
So basically you have forensic interviewing where a child can explain what happened to them in a safe, comfortable environment.
Exactly.
To kind of give them the time to do it, or extended forensic interviewing that I'm seeing. And
Right.
But, you know, I've been a school teacher for 32 years, and you can just tell, even the smallest of kids, even middle school and high school too, but, you know, I've been around a lot of middle school students and elementary school students, but when they leave school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon until they arrive back at 7, I'm sure, well, there are some heartbreaking stories even in our city and in our county, in those counties. It's just how it is. and there's no telling your bigger cities, and it's got to be very. Sometimes it's difficult for the adult to understand, not to understand, but unbelievable circumstances that a child may be going through or has gone through.
Sure.
And of course, the whole goal is to stop child abuse and neglect. And what are some things that the community? Y'all work with what other agencies or schools?
We do. The Stop Child Abuse and Neglect, that is our prevention program, actually, that we go into the schools in grades 3, 5, 7, and 9, and we teach body safety, body education, safe adults, good touches, bad touches, safe touches, things like that. And that is an Aaron's Law mandate. That Aaron's Law was passed a couple of years ago, 2015, I believe, and it was actually put in place by a young lady that was abused as a child, and she wanted to make sure that that didn't happen to other kids.
I've been out of education for about 2 years, but that was a requirement at the beginning of the year that we took that course and studied that course and answered the questions, and then
Yes, the mandated
you
reporting.
read so many, you read 2 or 3 pages, click a button, you have to answer those questions, but it's a requirement for, I know, public school teachers.
It is. A part of that is for the adult
It's
part
the
is
adult-
the
that's
mandated reporting.
It's the state law of Alabama. It
Right.
may be a federal law. Is it federal or is
No,
it state?
it's not federal. It's state
Okay.
because it's not in all 50 states just yet, but majority of the states have it at this point. That they have all kids have to receive some type of prevention program. So,
Now, what are some things that y'all offer for parents? Do y'all offer parenting classes?
we do have parenting classes on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7. And we also offer child care during that time. Just a mentoring, it's kind of like a mentoring program. If you don't have a babysitter, we'll definitely watch your kids while you are in the class. And it's not just for someone that is required to come to class. If you just want, to learn other resources of how to take care of your kid, or other parenting tips, you're welcome to come. And the kids, they can do their homework while they're there, or play games, or whatever the case may be.
All right, and this is located where they meet. Is this on Orange Street?
It is. It's in Calvary Baptist Church.
Calvary Baptist Church. In other words, when you're going on North 3 Knott Street, as soon as you pass the Piggly Wiggly, it's about the 2nd Street on your left.
It is.
Well, look for Orange.
Orange.
And when you make that left, you'll see a big red church.
Red church.
Big, and it's is it in the basement or? Is
We
it
are. We actually have the whole
to the
church.
left. Okay.
We do occupy the whole church, but we still share it with some church members. They have church there on Sundays.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
We are there.
Well, let's see if I got some other questions I was going to ask you. Is there, what are ways that the community, or do y'all need volunteer? How do you, how can the community get involved?
Sure.
Or
So April is Child Abuse Awareness
Okay.
and Prevention Month. That's, just while we're out in the community doing things. My shirt is one of the fundraisers that we're doing this month, just to raise awareness. People always enjoy our T-shirts every year. And you may have seen around town the blue ribbons and things and pinwheels.
Pinwheels.
Yeah,
Okay,
the pinwheels. The
Yeah.
pinwheels represent happy, healthy childhoods.
Okay.
And you can plant a pinwheel garden. Just asking us to come out and promote, or asking us to come out and talk at your events, church events, anything you may have going on. We'd love to talk about, just ways that you can interact with your kids, ways that you can, just awareness about healthy boundaries, healthy, lifestyles with your kids, things like that.
or is there anything else you'd like to add to your segment here on the show?
Sure. Come by and see us. We do take volunteers. We take interns.
And you could call of course, area code 334, It's 670-0487.
Yes, sir.
Again, 670-0487. And you have a website too, and that's what, www.
PikeRegionalCAC.com, and we
Okay.
also have Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, good. And your staff, Ms. Green, how many staff members?
Very small.
Very
It's
small.
myself and 3 family advocates.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're pretty busy covering 4 counties.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and I got a little gift for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Bird's Drugs, located on the square. They have these Betsy's Gourmet Bakery Classic Cheese Straws.
I love cheese
I
straws.
got to get in touch with Miss Betsy. Oh, here's what I want to read. Proverbs 16:3. Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed.
Amen.
And but I don't see where they were. I like reading labels.
Me too.
Fort Deposit.
Okay.
What county is Fort Deposit in? Do you know?
Decatur, maybe? Is it close up?
No.
No.
It's on the other side of Greenville.
Oh,
Fort Deposit is in Lowndes County. It sure is.
I thought it was
And
more
you can't get it. But it says made by priesters.com.
Priesters. Okay.
Okay.
Priesters
Well, there
for
you
Commons.
go. Betsy's Gourmet Cheese Straws. There they are.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank
And
you
ladies
so
and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Our next guest will be Miss Nelsie Leverett. She's a videographer. She has a kid sister, Sadie, I think, is helping her with photography, and her little brother, Howell, will be on the show too. He makes handmade fishing lures.
That's cool.
So we'll be back in just a minute with good news and interviews.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Join us for good news and interviews with Forrest Lee. Monday nights from 7 until 8, and watch the replays on Wednesday nights from 8 until 9. Ladies and gentlemen, join us for good news and interviews with Forrest Lee.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
This is Barney at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and I'm here to nip this sale in the bud.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Anthony, sales manager at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Troy, Alabama, offering discounts up to $15,000,
Let's nip that.
0% financing up to 72 months.
We gotta nip that.
Barney, $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
You're killing the competition.
Barney!
Troy Cable is the leader in smart home security, giving you solutions to monitor, protect, and automate your home. Troy Cable Security keeps your property safe with 24/7 professional monitoring and emergency response. Control thermostats and lighting remotely, which allow options for saving energy and money. Control access to your home remotely with integrated controls for door locks. You can even add our smart home cameras, which allow you to see what you care about instantly. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Welcome back to Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. I want to thank a couple more sponsors. I want to thank Home Gallery, Sherry and David Helms, Flat Tops and Fiddles, and Mr. Don Brown. He's located on the square. That's where Lenny Trawick, he gives his lessons, guitar lessons. I want to thank the Brundage Country Club, located in Brundage, Alabama. You can play golf 6 days a week, with the exception of Monday. Sticky Frogs, signs and T-shirts. She's located in that little village area right there where Half Shell is. She does a wonderful job. State Farm, Mr. Bryant Smith. I want to thank him for being a sponsor. Piggly Wiggly, Steve and Jennifer Garrett. The Chicken Shack of Luverne. Flowers Realty. Billy Ann and Kevin. If you want to sell your home, property, or fish pond, put flowers in your yard. I want to thank the Old Barn Restaurant. I was there last week on Thursday. Lenny Trawick, Kathy Stockstill, and Bob Perdue were picking and grinning. Beautiful music. Kathy is a junior at Pike Liberal Arts, and she needs to be on American Idol or somewhere. But she is fabulous. I also want to thank Pond Stalker 2. And Pond Stalker 2, right down your alley, they've got this new product out. It's called the Pond Buddy. And what it is, it's a device that you put near your water entrance into your pond, lake, or whatever. And you can, it's a fertilizing device, and it can fertilize your water or your pond. You can contact Jim Mullis at 403-2582, and you'll see it on the screen. They have all kind of stuff. They've got wholesale tackle sales in different locations. Pond Stalker 2. It's located on the Shellhorn Road, but you can call them for more information. Our next guests are two of the four Leverett children. Proud to have you. We have Nelsie and we have Howell. Nelsie, if you will, you're originally from Troy, Alabama, and
I am, yes, sir.
You're a product of Charles Heston High School.
Yes.
And tell us about your business.
I have a photography and videography business. I'm from Troy. I'm from Charles Henderson High School, and I had an interest in photography starting in high school, and 2016 is when I first picked up a camera. And it kind of grew from there. I started in photography, and then I started to dab in videography, and now that's my full-time job. So I love doing it.
Well, tell us about, have you added any jewelry to your collection the last couple of years?
No, but my mom and my sister, you mean my ring?
Yeah, that's what I'm, duh.
I thought you were meaning my mama makes a lot of jewelry.
No, I'm talking, well, we'll get into that. I'm talking about you newlywed.
Yes, I am. Yes, I got married about a year ago.
Okay, what's his name?
His name is Brady Newman.
Brady Newman.
We have a house here in Troy, so
well, congratulations again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So your website, and I think they're going to start flashing pictures here in a minute for us. But there's some of it right there. Is that right?
Yes, that's
NelsieNewman.com.
Yes, NelsieNewman.com.
That's how you get in touch with Nelsie, and you do. And your sister is Sadie now.
Yes.
You a little bit?
So when I first started this business, Sadie always tagged along. She's always been my second shooter, and she just about came to every single wedding with me in the beginning. And anyway, she has been training under me for 4 wedding seasons now. So this year is the first year that we're offering a photography and videography package. So I'll do the videography, and Sadie will do the photography, and you can get everything taken care of with us.
Now, if you would, I want you to tell us about your parents.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. I want you to tell the audience who your parents are.
My parents are Matt and Alicia Leverett. My mom, growing up, was always an entrepreneur. She was always owning small businesses and doing craft shows and monogramming and all sorts of things. So I just grew up in a home where my mom was always busy and creating stuff, and so I feel like it makes sense that me and Howell now are both.
Well, you look at it, let's see, now your dad is from what
My dad is from Brundage. My mom is from Reeltown. So Dad grew up in the Troy area.
All right, and your mother's maiden name is?
Baswell.
Baswell.
Yes, Alicia
okay, She went to
Baswell.
Reeltown High School.
Yes, she did.
Okay, well, good. She's from Reeltown. How did they meet at Troy?
I believe they met through friends at church in Auburn University. That's where my dad went to school at. And she went to AUM. So I think they met
All right, so the children
after college.
is Nelson's the oldest, then,
Sadie.
and that's the two girls.
Yes.
And then who's next?
Kyle and then Howell.
Okay. And what are the ages? I'm not going to ask the ages of the girls. But you're about 20 or 21.
Yes.
And then Sadie's probably 17.
She is, yes.
All right, and then the boys are how old?
Kyle's 14, I'm 13.
Okay, well, good. I'm 61. Anyway, I love having a good time. But anyway, so you do wedding events. What are some, besides weddings, you do what else?
I do all kinds of stuff. I feel like weddings are what I'm most known for, but I make promotional videos for like Troy City School System. I work with them really frequently. I just made an open house video for their kindergarten building. They have to do it virtual this year. I make commercials for small businesses. I make recruitment videos for sororities. I do all kinds of stuff.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got a girl, Abby Lee, that's in photography, and
Yes.
that's kind of neat. And we're very proud of her. And my mother had a little bit of photography. She used to work for the Messenger.
Yes, sir.
So y'all graduated together and all that kind of stuff. And did y'all sit together in graduation, or was there somebody between y'all?
We were either right beside each other, or there might have been one person,
Right.
but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it was Lee and
Okay.
Leverett. So I'm pretty sure we were right beside each other.
All right, well, good. Have you? So you average 1 or 2 weddings a month. How do you balance that?
Yes, I try not to. My goal this year was not to go overboard. Last year there were a few months where I had 3 weddings or 4 weddings, and that gets a little crazy.
Right.
So I try to cap out at 2, but sometimes if it's a real busy month, I'll let a third in
Okay.
there.
And again, if you'll tell everybody your website.
Yes.
And how to contact you.
Yeah, you can visit my website. It's nelseynewman.com. So NELSEYNEWMAN. And yeah, if you go on there, you can find my website. You can get in contact with me. My social media is on there: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you can see all my work.
Well, good. And this is Howell. He's the youngest of the 4. And you go to Charles Henderson Middle School?
Well, I should be, but we're homeschooled
Okay.
this year.
Okay, that's fine. And so what are some of your activities that some of your hobbies besides fishing lures?
Well,
Sports and all that kind of stuff.
sports have kind of died down, especially with COVID
Okay.
and stuff like that. But I like fishing, obviously.
Y'all hit the pond a lot last year. I mean, I
Yes,
remember Pike County Lake.
Yes, they did.
Well, let's show us some of your lures right here. Let me hold one, and maybe Nelson can hold one.
Yeah.
And okay, and
Which
go ahead
one's
and
your
pick one
favorite?
up. This one.
You
All
hold
right,
one,
what
too.
kind of wood is this made out of? Give me another. Give me a yellow one.
Okay.
What kind of wood is this?
I make them out of poplar.
Poplar? Is that the best? Is it light?
It's kind of in between, so it's not too hard to make it sink, but you can make it float real easy.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So you can
Now,
work with.
how long does it take to make one lure
I can make it in a day. Just
in one
about.
day? It takes like how many hours? Like you?
If I'm working really consistently, maybe 3 or 4 hours, I can get one done. Or ready
Okay.
for clear coat, because clear coat can almost take about a night to finish, because it has to sit there and cure. But just making it, probably about 3 or 4 hours. If I'm taking my time, just about maybe 5 or
So
6.
after you do all the painting and all that, and it cures, then you put your hooks and all that on
Yes,
there,
sir.
right? You just add that to it. Which one of these have caught a fish?
I know I've caught a fish on this one right there.
Uh-huh.
I've had a couple bites on this one, and
Okay.
this one's new, so I haven't got to try it out
Okay.
yet.
But you've got some that have sunk.
Yes, sir. I got caught in some logs.
Oh, me. Anyway, so how did you get interested in building fishing lures?
Well, her husband, Brady, took us fishing one time, and it's the first time I've gone and, like, really enjoyed it, because I hadn't been since I was younger. And so...
Where did y'all go?
We went to Pike County Lake, actually.
Oh, Pike County Lake.
He
Okay.
took us down there.
All right, go ahead.
And so, I was scrolling through YouTube one day. It seems like you can find anything on YouTube now. And it showed me a guy who was making custom fishing lures. And I'd never seen it. I didn't know people even did this. And so I knew my granddad, he's a woodworker, and he had all sorts of tools. So I tried it out. It wasn't very good, but I tried it out. I loved it, and I've been making them ever since.
Are these, do you make any smaller than this, or this is the size that you...
I do. These are just the bigger ones. I like
Okay.
the bigger ones because they're a bigger canvas to paint on. You can
Oh,
show your
okay.
stuff off.
Now, how'd
I
you
do
get
make
those
small.
little checkered things on there? This has got checkerboard. You can't, I don't know if you can see it, but it's
take
got a fin and spots and eyes, and
I take window screen like you would see on a screen door.
I got you.
And I fold it diagonal and put clips on it, and I spray just about anything you can spray on it, and it gives it that scale pattern. Is what I'm trying to achieve from that.
So how many have you made? When'd you start?
I started probably about 1.5 years, 2 years ago is when I've been making them. Maybe a little less, give or take. But
Do you know how many you've totally made?
I couldn't tell you a permanent number, but I'd say maybe near 100, 150, something like that.
Now here's the question of the day. Do you market these? Do you sell them?
I don't. I might soon, but I'm trying to
You
get
might.
consistent.
Yeah.
I might have to repaint here or there, but I might. It's open.
Okay.
It might happen.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I can pronounce it. Spell it. Say it for entrepreneur.
Entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneur, yeah.
Something like that.
So you're kind of starting that. Now, Kyle, does he have any artistic hobbies or anything like that? What is
He is getting into sword making. He went through an area, or he made
metal swords?
Yes,
Wow.
metal
So
swords.
y'all have a forge and all that kind of stuff?
He got that for Christmas. He went through a fishing pole making phase, and now he's making forging swords or knives. I guess is how you say it.
It's more knives. but
Okay. Now, do y'all have y'all ever made your own cane pole? Do you know how to do that?
Not a cane pole, but you can buy kits to make your average just fishing pole.
Okay.
But I've never made a cane
Well,
pole.
here's what I want you to do is learn how to make some cane poles and try cane pole fishing.
Yes, sir.
But pretend like you're in the wilderness and I don't have any fishing lures. But a cane pole is interesting. Google it. And because there's cane patches all over this part of the country. Now, where is 3 of your favorite places to fish?
I'd say Pike County Lake is up there, of course. You
Pike
can
County
catch
Lake.
just about anything
Okay.
over there. Our granddad lives in a neighborhood, and he has a little pond right behind there, and you can catch bass and
Is that in
catfish.
Milltown?
This is in Montgomery.
Montgomery. In the city limits of Montgomery or Montgomery?
It's in the city,
Okay.
yes, sir. And so I like to catch them, and then I don't know. I don't think I really have a third location, but L&L Lakes, if nothing. If
Lake
nothing's
Martin,
open.
maybe?
Yeah, Lake Martin. Yeah, I'll say
Okay,
that.
Lake Martin.
That's a good place to go.
Well, on this commercial, you can watch the replay on Wednesday nights from 8 till 9 o'clock. And look for Chimney hot sauces. And there's a commercial where people are leaping into Lake Martin. I'm not recommending you do that. No.
Off of
But,
Chimney Rock.
Yeah, on Chimney Rock. And but that is so neat to do that right there. Now, where do you get your eyes? Where do you get your eyes for the fish?
You can buy them anywhere, but I get them off of Amazon and just look up fishing lure eyes, and you can find them anywhere.
I just had to smell it. Smells like a fish. Smells like a pond. Do you spray it with anything? Like, oh, okay, a scent. All right, so you got 2 sets of hooks. Is there a hook back here on this one?
No,
Just
sir.
the
I
front?
just because I had that little curly tail on the back, it just
All
had
right,
one.
here's that one.
Thank you.
Let me try. Let me look at it. Show me that yellow one, too.
Okay. This one in the middle.
Yes.
These hooks are all tangled. There you go. Oh,
I'll just give you 2 of it. Don't mind.
don't hook yourself.
Here we go.
Here we go.
There you go.
Do you put your initials on? Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
On some I do, some
we
I
got a
don't.
hook.
Oh, you
Maddie,
got my finger.
this one's yellow. It's got speckles in it. It's got a little red tip on the fin. But you got your Howell M.L. You made it 1920. I mean 2020. What's your full name?
Howell Matthews Leverett.
Howell. Where'd you get the Matthews from? Is that a family name?
Yes, sir. On my dad's side.
My dad's middle name.
Okay. Well, Matt, I know you're probably grinning from ear to ear. You call him Peacock Leverett now because he's proud as a peacock. I know of his family, his wife, and 4 beautiful children, and they are That's kind of neat. And make some earrings.
Let's see, heavy earrings.
All right, let's see. So you're in what grade now?
I'm in the 7th.
You're in the 7th, so you'll be in the 8th. And besides, do you have any other kind of hobbies besides, that you do with your hands, besides fishing lures? You got something on the horizon that you want to try that you hadn't?
Well, I've gotten into just the woodworking kind of stuff. I've built little shelves for holding stuff, but I'd like to get, make bigger projects and stuff, but I think that's, going to come later down the road.
You know what you need? If you don't have it, you need a he shed. Not a she shed, but you need a he shed.
That'd be good to good use.
Now, do you do all this inside the house, the carport, or?
I do it in the garage.
In the garage, okay. Well, good. Man, that's exciting, and I'm so proud for y'all, and
Thank you.
and I'm glad you were able to be here. Next week's show, we got a minute or two. Next week's show is going to feature Southern Grill and Patio. Scott and Lana Hartley, they own Town and Country flooring, and they also have another business called Southern Grill and Patio. They're supposed to be on the show next week, along with Jalen Tuck.
Okay, yeah.
He's also a graduate he graduated with Nelson Abbey, and he's got a friend named Curtis Monroe. They have a business downtown, just off the square. It's the 4B's Fitness, or BBB and 4B's Fitness, and he'll be on the show as well next week. And but I certainly want to thank y'all for being here, and I've got a couple of certificates here for you in this envelope.
I feel like I'm on a game show.
That's what Johnny Carson used to do. And I'll fill it out after the show. It says, gift certificate to Bird Drug Company, Troy, Alabama.
Woo. We'll put that to good use.
Yeah. And my favorite time is breakfast time.
Oh, yeah.
I have to get bacon. Their bacon is fabulous. And but all the girls in the back, they're just wonderful. And we're just proud to have Bird's Drugs on the square. But I've got a gift certificate for both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For being on the show. And I want to thank everybody. Our replays are on Wednesday nights from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Hopefully after church, where people can watch it. And as you see some of our sponsors, that's on the screen now. There's Pond Stalker 2 LLC. There's a number to call. They can do a lot of things for your pond. That's a little Chandler girl at the barn. Want to thank Premier Dodge, Troy, and their sponsorship. We got Troy Bank and Trust. We just certainly want to thank Dawn and Derek Broadway of Troy Paint and Body. Chimney Hot Sauces, we already mentioned that. Pike Farmers Co-op, they have 2 locations in Goshen and Troy, Alabama for all your needs. They got feed, seed, fertilizer, and all kind of stuff. I like getting my vegetable seeds there and my bonnet plants for my garden. Want to thank Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Troy and their manager and owner, Jason Gregory. Golden Boy. Golden Boy is expanding. They're located just off the Henderson Highway, but they but they can all kind of peanut butter and trail mix for a lot of companies throughout America and the world. And Peter Pan's one of them, but Golden Boy, I want to thank you as well. Red, white, and blue, United States of America. And I made that right there. That's easy to make. But anyway, I want to again thank Nelsie and Hal for being on the show. And thank you for watching Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. And we'll see you next week on next Monday night. We're looking forward to it, and have a great week.
Thank you.